cryptocurrency, blockchain technology, mining, fiat currency, public key, private key, hardware wallets, software wallets, ICOs, IEOs, Bitcoin, altcoin, token, FUD hype. It's no wonder people get confused. By the end of this short video, you'll have a better understanding of cryptocurrency. You'll be able to make up your own mind about the future of this new technology.
Excuse me ladies, sorry to bother you. Do you mind being filmed? I'm just going to do a Q&A about cryptocurrency and Bitcoin.
Yeah, okay.
Do you know anything about Bitcoin or cryptocurrency?
Like a virtual coin.
It's not like a £10 note I can hold in my hand. People made some quick money out of it, but it seemed to crash.
No, that's something that I haven't got a clue about.
Many of you watching have probably heard of Bitcoin. Bitcoin is, in its very simplest form, digital money. Now I know this raises more questions like where does Bitcoin come from and why is it worth anything, and I promise I'll get to all that later. For now, let's focus on the money part. The definition of money is anything that acts as a medium of exchange between two parties, i.e. a buyer and seller of goods or services. Let's say I go into a store and buy something. When I get to the counter, I'll be expected to pay with a banknote or coins or maybe a debit or credit card. These forms of money are what's known as fiat currency. Fiat is a widely accepted form of money. Fiat is convenient. Everybody uses it. But what if I offer the store something else of value? Let's say I offer to pay for my goods with a seashell instead. The store obviously has every right to say, no, sorry, we can't accept shells as a form of payment. But let's assume it's a really pretty shell, and the checkout person really likes it. If the store accepts my shell as payment for goods, in this case, my shell would be considered money, the medium of exchange between the store and myself. Obviously nowadays, no one accepts shells as money. But for thousands of years, right up until the mid-19th century, shell money was used all over the globe as a medium of exchange. Shells were carved into beads, used to adorn clothing, and worn as body decoration. The point I'm making is that times change, and what we perceive as money changes too. For millennia, humankind traded goods with each other. Shells, gold, spices, furs, just to name a few. These traded goods are what's known as commodity money. So what's the difference between commodity money and fiat currency? Commodity money consists of items that have intrinsic value. Items that are worth something because they hold value or they are useful in some way. The actual value of these commodities change with the market, with how useful the item is, or the supply and demand of the item. Fiat currency is a form of money that is created by our governments. Our government promises to enforce a value that is assigned to the currency. We, the citizens, all agree to the value printed on the notes that we use. Our banknotes, or our currency, used to be commodity backed by gold. It was called the gold standard. You could take a banknote into a bank and exchange it for a piece of gold worth the value printed on the note. The banknote represented an easier to use form of gold that the bank kept in the vault. The gold standard was completely abolished in 1971 by President Nixon and replaced with our current version of government money called fiat currency. So what exactly is Bitcoin? Well, Bitcoin could be considered a type of digital commodity money. Just like other commodities, the value of Bitcoin depends on the market sentiment. The value of Bitcoin goes up and down based on supply and demand. Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies have value because they are useful in some way. People use Bitcoin as a medium of exchange, just like how the store accepted my shell as payment in my earlier example. Some people accept Bitcoin as payment for goods and services, not only online, but in the real world as well. Bitcoin can be a faster and less expensive way to send money when compared to the traditional banking system. And Bitcoin does not rely on any third parties like a bank or a credit card processor. You can send Bitcoin from anywhere in the world to anywhere else in the world in mere minutes and for negligible fees. By comparison, international banking transactions normally take several days to process and are expensive. Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies are simply a type of money in a digital format that is faster and less expensive to use. You might not go into your local store and buy a can of soft drink with Bitcoin tomorrow, but don't be surprised if in the coming years you have the option to do just that. Kind of like Apple or Android Pay. Would you mind if I paid in cryptocurrency?
No, that's fine.
Amazing, thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Thanks, mate. Did you just pay with crypto?
Yeah.
Wow. Okay, so tell me, this cryptocurrency, what is it all about?
Well, the first successful cryptocurrency was Bitcoin. In 2009, someone called Satoshi Nakamoto posted a paper called Bitcoin, a peer-to-peer electronic cash system on a web forum. The paper described a type of money that could be sent from one person directly to another without the need for a third-party company and with no central controlling authority. The problem with this was, how could users know that they could trust the transactions?
Right.
The paper explained that anyone with a computer could join the network, and using computer software, they could help to verify the transactions on the network. The more users, the more stable the network, and the more stable the network, the more trusted the transactions would be.
But where do the actual coins come from?
Well, the coins are created by the network itself as a reward and paid to people who run computers on the network. Those people are what we call miners, and it's clear that their job was to process the transactions between users on the network. So every 10 minutes, all of the transactions between users sending and receiving Bitcoin are put together in a block of information. Each block of information is linked together in a time order, like a chain. That's why it's called blockchain. Every time a new block is created, the information has to be checked and verified by miners.
Wow.
Whichever miner confirms the information first is rewarded with the new Bitcoin that was created by the network.
Okay, so the miners are actually people running computers that keep all of the transactions in order. And these miners are paid in Bitcoin for the work they do on the computers.
Pretty much, yeah.
Okay. I've heard people say that if you can't touch it, it's not real. Do you think there's any merit in that?
Well, it is digital, so you can't physically hold it, but that doesn't mean it's not real. Most of the money in the world is digital. You work, and your job pays you at the end of the month, right?
Right, yeah.
And do they hand you a stack of cash at the end of the month?
No, of course not. They put it direct in my bank account.
Exactly. Your wages are sent from your work's bank account to your bank account by bank transfer. It's digital.
Interesting.
It's a digital transaction. If you're like most people, you probably pay your bills by bank transfer or direct debit. And when you pay for your shopping or taxis or nights out with your friends, do you normally use cash or do you use a card?
I've never really thought of it that way before. I do use my card a lot. I mean, I always like to have cash on me just in case, right?
Well, I like to have cash in my wallet too. You know, for emergencies or in case a card reader isn't working or something. Actually, look. I've got some crypto in an account that's linked to this card. So if I want physical cash, I just use it at any normal cash point and withdraw cash exactly the same as you do.
Really? I didn't know it was that easy. So would you say investing in Bitcoin or cryptocurrency is a safe bet in the long term and the short term?
Well, I can't really tell you if it's a safe investment or not. I mean, there's risks involved with lots of things. You could buy gold today, and tomorrow someone might find a new gold mine with tons of gold, and therefore the value of gold could drop because suddenly it isn't rare anymore. All I can advise is that when you're looking to invest money into anything, only risk what you can afford to lose. Many financial experts think that crypto is the future of money. Only a really small percentage of the world know what crypto really is. I mean, imagine if crypto was as common as using card or cash.
I can't afford Bitcoin anyway, it's way too expensive.
Yeah, so many people think that.
The little bit I do know, I think they're certainly out of my my pocket. I think they're probably £6,000–7,000 a coin. So I think it'd be quite an investment to shell out to buy a coin initially.
But you don't actually have to buy a whole Bitcoin. You can buy a fraction of a Bitcoin.
Wow.
Say you want to buy £100 worth of Bitcoin. Just go to your Bitcoin exchange and you deposit £100, and then you click buy £100 worth of Bitcoin, and you get £100 worth of Bitcoin in your wallet.
See, that's one of the things that's been putting me off. I thought you had to buy a whole coin. So I haven't really looked into it properly because I can't really afford to buy it. Okay, so let's say I buy a Bitcoin or a fraction of a Bitcoin. How do I get that back?
Well, there are several options. I already showed you my crypto account card, so you could get one of those and just withdraw cash at a cash point. Or you could get yourself a crypto account with a regulated exchange and withdraw the money directly to your bank account. That's actually probably the best option when talking about a lot of money. Most reputable exchanges have to comply with banking rules like anti-money laundering, etc. So you'll have to verify your account with whoever you set up with. But that's standard practice, and it's actually really easy to do. And if you do have any problems, then the exchanges can usually help you.
So why is crypto actually worth anything if someone just made it up out of thin air?
That's the thing I struggle with, to understand how you can make money from something that technically doesn't exist.
Well, there's really a few reasons. One is simple economics, supply and demand. The price of Bitcoin is always changing, going up, going down. If more people want to buy Bitcoin than want to sell it, the price goes up. If more people want to sell it than to buy it, the price goes down. Crypto has a value because it's useful, and because it's useful, people want it. I mean, really, Bitcoin is more like a digital version of gold than the digital version of a modern fiat money. Because it's digital, you can move it from anywhere in the world to anywhere in the world at the click of a button. You can send Bitcoin to someone on the moon if they had signal to receive it. Another reason it has value is because a lot of people buy cryptocurrencies for speculative reasons. They expect the price to go up or down, and they trade accordingly. And when enough people start to see value in something, that thing becomes more valuable through its acceptance and its use.
I've heard that there are other cryptocurrencies than Bitcoin, such as Ethereum, Litecoin, Ripple, and they're called altcoins?
Yeah, alternative cryptocurrencies, or altcoins for short.
Okay, so if Bitcoin is so good, what is the point of all these other altcoins?
Well, there's a lot of altcoins now, so I can't speak for all of them. A lot of the older ones mostly just made minor changes to what Bitcoin started, making transactions quicker to process, so instead of 10-minute blocks like Bitcoin, the transactions could take a few seconds. Others changed the type of code that is used for mining in an effort to make it more energy efficient. And then some of the newer cryptocurrencies, though, are a whole new thing, like Ethereum, for instance. And with Ethereum, companies or developers can make decentralized apps and deploy them onto Ethereum network for everyone to use.
Right. I heard a lot of people and companies made a lot of money selling coins in ICOs.
Yeah. ICO stands for Initial Coin Offering. It's a bit like when a company sells shares before it goes public. Those are called IPO, or initial public offerings. An ICO is similar really, but instead of selling shares, the developers or the companies sell coins. There were a lot of ICOs in 2017. Up until early to mid 2017, the amount of normal money invested in cryptocurrency was on a steady rise. And by about mid-2017, there were around $25 billion total value in crypto. And as the year went on, we saw loads of new money enter the space, with hedge funds and investment banks talking about cryptocurrency, mainstream news media running articles, and even shows about cryptocurrency. Newspapers, magazines were printing stories. As a result of all the media hype, by the start of 2018, the total value invested in crypto was over $800 billion.
Wow.
During 2017, a lot of people and companies saw huge potential in fundraising by making new coins, usually with the big promises to investors. It's a bit like crowdfunding, but investors got coins which they could use or trade as they want. Most people invested in ICOs as a speculative thing, hoping that if they put money in, the companies would be successful and the coins would become more valuable. When the crypto market started to lose value in early 2018, a lot of those companies started to disappear, and leaving many investors with coins that had no use or no real value.
So would you say to stay away from ICOs then?
Well, no, you just need to use your own common sense. Always do your own research. Learn as much as you can about a company or project before you buy shares or coins. Just like buying shares in a new company. If the company is successful, then the value of the shares increases. It's the same with ICOs.
Right, so know of any ICOs I should look into?
Well, I heard of one recently, but I've not had time to look into it myself yet. A friend of mine told me about it. And it sounds like they're taking a really different approach compared to ICOs in the past. Apparently, they limit how many coins you can buy in the ICO, which I've never seen before. I mean, it sounds like they're trying to limit how much an individual can influence the markets after the ICO ends.
Sounds good, that.
They call it anti-manipulation distribution. They aim to build a global user base and already have a load of businesses all around the world who have pledged to accept the coin after the ICO ends and the coin is on public exchanges, which is more than can be said about a lot of coins out there, and especially most ICOs.
What's the coin called? I'll have a look when I get home.
It's called TBC Coin. Let me know what you find out.
I feel like I'm more clued up on cryptocurrency now, and so I've been looking into TBC Coin a lot more. It's a decentralized altcoin built on the Ethereum network, one of the largest and most stable cryptocurrency networks going. They developed TBC Coin after becoming aware that the original TBC Coin was centralized and the original developer had complete control over users' wallets and funds, with the ability to freeze users' funds or stop transactions from being processed for specific users, which is completely against the ethos of decentralized cryptocurrencies. Ethereum is decentralized and fully transparent, and by developing TBC on the Ethereum network, they ensure the individual users have complete control and power over their own funds and the future value of them. The main aim is to create a truly global community of users and businesses. They already have a number of businesses around the world who have shown interest in accepting TBC Coin as a payment method after distribution has been completed, and they are on the cryptocurrency exchanges. When they developed the coin, a low price was set to ensure a financially accessible cost of entry open to everyone. They employ an anti-manipulation distribution model by limiting the number of coins an individual user can purchase during the distribution phase. This distribution model should help to ensure a stable future for the TBC Coin community, where market manipulation is not possible. One of their core moral beliefs, values, is fairness. Fairness with distribution, fairness with rewarding those who help to grow the community, and fairness to the less fortunate. This brings us to the TBC Coin Helping Hands initiative. They have set aside 25 million coins for disaster relief and charitable causes. In the future, they will open this fund in order to sell some of the 25 million TBC coins. All funds raised from the sale of these coins will be allocated to those in need, be it disaster relief or smaller assistance such as paying tradesmen directly for building accessibility ramps or lifts to a home of a disabled person, or paying for extra help to relieve an overworked parent or carer.
I hope you found this video helpful, and I hope you've learnt something new about cryptocurrency that you maybe didn't know before.
I do recall it becoming almost flavour of the month in about 2017, and it seemed a lot of people made some quick money out of it, but it seemed to crash almost as quickly as it came to the fore, really.
Not a lot, mate. I know it's like fake money, isn't it? Like in the air, it's not real, you can't grab it.
That maybe we won't need banks, but that makes you a little bit nervous about all that, doesn't
I
it?
believe an IPO is an initial public offer when a company is floated on the stock market. So I'm assuming that an ICO would be an initial coin offer.
International currency overseas or something?
I believe it's a digital currency, and I believe it probably works a little bit quicker than traditional banking.
They don't even know who invented it.
My concern actually is it safe? And you know,
Or even legal.
Yeah,
You know,
that's
if
true.
Yeah, it's something we have to think about
Yeah.
with anything on the internet or
absolutely,
cyber, don't you?
yeah, absolutely.
Really.
I don't even know how I'd buy or sell a Bitcoin.
I think for our generation though,
Yeah.
I think we get a little bit nervous as we get older, don't we?
Yeah, about using new things
Yes.
and technologies.
And absolutely. So I
we
think
need it simplified a
yeah,
little bit,
but
won't
sometimes I think you've just got to take a little bit of a chance at
we?
things.
Yeah, and go with it,
Yeah.
really, yeah.